Now, I don't know what just happened there. Dropped the camera. Too hard to deal with everything in the mud here. I mean, it's seriously muddy. Camera's covered with mud here. Gotta kind of clean it off a little bit. Oh my gosh, yeah. I got a mess going on here. Look at this. Can't walk because of the mud. And on top of that, I just dropped the camera in the mud. But basically what's gonna happen today is a lot less than what usually happens. We had, I don't know, there was probably about, I don't know, we had probably an hour and a half, 2 hours of rain last night on top of 3/4 of an inch of dust right here on that road over there, which basically means I can't walk on the road. I have to walk out here because every step you take puts about, I don't know, half an inch of mud, 3/4 of an inch, depends how much dust there was, stuck to the bottom of your feet, right? So it really slows you down a little bit if you ever get anywhere near the trail. That's the trail. So yeah, okay. Oh geez, gotta get some mud off my feet. I can't walk. Yeah. Anyhow. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. I don't know. We may not actually be able to go anywhere today. Actually, I may have to just bail off of here and wait for this to dry up. This is really hard. I mean, literally. If you're in the wrong spot, like if you were out on that road, 3 steps or 4 steps and you'd be 2 inches off the ground, you could twist your ankle. Whew, man. So yeah, anyhow, and it's exhausting to boot. These guys, and the funny thing is, I've been following these people who had already done this. I had just missed it, right? They had been getting into rain ahead of me or melting snow and walking through this stuff and just knocking the dirt off there. And I just happened to miss it. Today is my first day, my baptism into Arizona mud. And wow, it is difficult. And then of course we just get a little bit of rain on all this dust we had. I mean, we're walking through lots of dust. Now, if it had been a regular old rocky trail, this wouldn't have been near so bad. But because they got the trail running down this road for, I don't know, it looks like at least 5 or 6 miles up here. I don't know. I do not know about this. I don't know. Anyhow, so we don't know what I'm gonna do. I may just quit. By the time the sun comes out, bakes on this for 2 or 3 hours, it may dry out enough to go for a walk today. But this is a slog. This is just too difficult. Look at my foot. Can you see my foot? Look at that. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I do know what to tell you. I'm gonna tell you it's really, really difficult. Anyhow, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. I think we may do some rock hopping. We may just decide that what we do is we step from rock to rock. Normally we try to avoid rocks on the Arizona Trail because they're really hard on your feet. But, oh, you know what I see here ahead of me now? There are some other hikers and they are having the same problem. I seen them pass last night when I was at the camper. I'm seeing dirt scraped off on rocks here. So I'm not the only one who is slogging through the dirt and scraping their feet on rocks. We're all having a hard time today. Yep, there's some more over there. Yep. Well, I tell you what, the Arizona Trail is great. And I like it a lot better, this flat part up here, than down there, all the rocky stuff that we went over before. It's a lot easier to walk. This does not make it easier to walk. I think what I want to pay attention to here is whether or not I get too tired and it starts to be not safe, you know, that's going to be the thing. Unfortunately, I've only gone about 3 miles this morning and I'm already exhausted. Definitely not going to go the 16 that I had planned. So yeah, we'll check in, we'll see what we do. So I just scraped that off and I just took another step, and now look. There's that much more in one more step. Yeah, you can't walk in this stuff. You know, kids, I'm a fairly tough cookie. No, I'm not very strong, honestly. For how strong I am, I'm not very strong. But I was not strong enough to do this, actually. Really, seriously, you could literally get this much mud on the bottom of your foot every step. And then if you stepped again, you get more. And literally, you could twist your ankle. Now, there are people that have walked many, many miles in these conditions. And by the way, I was feeling sorry for them when I could see their tracks, right? Because you could see the tracks and all the mud they'd scraped off all over the place. This guy Jay Wanders Out, he'd been taking video of this, and I thought, man, that's terrible. I was feeling sorry for him, and guess what? I was not feeling sorry enough. Let me tell you what, that is a bad deal. And you know what? I'd have been in danger territory. If I had continued to walk out there, I'd have got hurt. I don't even think I could have got to the next place you could have got off the trail. I mean, so anyway, I'm gonna take the day off. I bet it'll dry out today. Probably we'll be able to do this by tomorrow. It might even dry out by noon. I don't know. I don't think so. It probably won't dry out by noon. But anyway, we're gonna have a day off today. Well, looks like we're running, up and running. Now we've got a little different thing going on here now. As you're gonna notice, there's gonna be cars going by. I finally walked back out of all that mud and survived. I didn't die. It was tough though. I was exhausted by the time I got out of there. And we decided that instead of not walking today, what we're gonna do is just walk down the highway. Trail is right up there. We're gonna just follow the trail, but we won't be in the mud. We will be following the trail down the highway. It's much easier to hike down the highway, so this is a benefit to me being out, to the amount of energy I would have used. Of course, highway walking, you know, everybody, all the thru hikers, they hate to highway walk, but me, I kind of like it. I don't know, it's just easier than. There was a bit of a wind going on, and they're forecasting like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts today, which is a good sign for the mud because wind is what you need to dry that out. All right, well, the day started out kind of rough. Up on that hill over there, right over there, up on that hill, mud. Too much mud for me to walk in. And so I retreated a couple miles back to where I started and regrouped and got a new idea about how to tackle this chunk of ground here. And right now I'm walking in mud, but it's dried out. Okay, so what happened is basically I took a walk down this highway right here behind me for, I don't know what it was, 11 miles or something like that, to come to a point here where I can rejoin the trail. In other words, I took a detour and waited for the mud to dry out. Now I am walking right in all of this mud right here. If you look back there, and it is not sticking to me. But this morning, I've been walking 3 inches off the ground. So basically we just put off this deal. Now right up here about a mile on the right, meanwhile back at the camper is waiting for me with all my gear that I left there with them. And when I get done with the last of this mile we got going on here, I will probably take a break for an hour or so, take a rest. It's a, you know, it's a deal. It's an easy walk. walking down the road, but it's also tiring because you can walk so fast. So in a way, I'm probably farther ahead than I would be because I walked on the road, but I am tired from walking quickly for as long as I did. So probably take a break, recollect all the gear, get all the stuff, and from this place where I'm going to meet these guys, there's an alternate trail that goes back up to the main trail, and I am certainly hoping that the mud has all dried out up on that ridge up there. I think it probably has. It's been really windy, super windy, like all day long, and wind has a way of drying out stuff, so I bet you it's dry. So I will then resume the trail here this afternoon, hike on to my goal. I will probably not be hardly any amount behind schedule of where I wanted to be, mainly because I walked on the road, you know, instead of trying to walk on that trail up there. And hopefully the mud's all gone. It's a bit of a problem because this country here, now it starts to get really dry. There just aren't any creeks. All the lakes are dry. All of the natural water sources are pretty much nothing there. And so it's a bit of a problem having a muddy day like that, because if you can't make your miles and you need water, which you will eventually, because this is Arizona, if that happens and you can't make your miles to where your next water is, you're gonna have to do without water. So I think we made a good plan, a good compromise. Didn't take me very much water to walk to here. I can refill up. The next stage of this, there's a couple more miles up here to what's called the Urban Trail. I don't know exactly how many miles, but it's a couple. And after I meet with meanwhile back at the camper, I will hike up that trail, back up on that hill over there to the right, and join the Arizona Trail, which now will be dry, we hope, and head on down just a couple miles more to the Urban Trail, which I should arrive there hopefully before it gets too late tonight. That would be the hope. Anyway, we'll find out about that later today. But anyway, that's the plan. That's where we go on. Assuming I get to the Urban Trail tomorrow, get up, head on down in there, and the Urban Trail is basically a trail that goes right through the middle of Flagstaff. Lots of noisy cars here. That's the fun of a road walk, right? Yeah, so the Urban Trail goes right through the middle of Flagstaff. I'll be walking right past Sam's Club and, you know, the hospital and all of the things, you know. And so, yeah. Now there is an alternate trail around there, but it's 14 more miles, and to tell you the truth, I'm a little tired. I don't feel like walking 14 more miles, so I probably won't be doing that. And so basically, we'll be finishing this up if all goes well, and then tomorrow go clean across town on the Urban Trail. And you're not supposed to camp off of that trail, so basically you got to hike all the way across town and out the other side, and that's I don't know, I think it's like 15 miles out across there. So we'll probably do that and get out on the other side of town and then camp out there. And then the third day we head right up onto the edge of a big mountain out there. Big mountain out there, which is actually the highest peak in Arizona, called Mount Humphreys. So on that third day, the goal will be to meet up with meanwhile back at the camper and get resupplied for another day. Now unfortunately we have this snowstorm that's planned, and so I'm not 100% certain we'll do more than a day out through there. because we don't want to be out there in the middle of a snowstorm. It's like a 90% chance of snow. Now, Arizona is notoriously notoriously difficult for the forecasters. They always get the weather wrong here. You know, believe it or not, it's way worse than even in Idaho, where I come from. And they're usually, you know, they're pretty good in Idaho, but it's really bad around here. They do not get the weather forecast right very often. So we will see what happens. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. I don't want to be out in the middle of a snowstorm, because basically once I get north of that big mountain over there, it's these big, well, you drop into this big volcanic field, kind of, in a way. Lots of little cinder cones all over the place, and not a lot of vegetation. Frankly, I really don't want to camp out in a snowstorm. No, thank you. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll let you know. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, the adventure, right? It's the adventure, right?